Yeah, Arsenal. So upon all the talk, Jimenez make United can beat you for your home grounds. Barca to Jimenez, till the stadium finish make you or we can't watch match for insider. So now your stadium they leak for there. When they pour they beat fans for the stadium inside. Napoli to you people, you they won't win Scudetto back to back. Where you make them can they beat you basa like that. What they wrong you? Charlie, the World Cup too, they come. So Endrick to make wild. Where do move, where they move, source give them. Now you do well. So this is a preview of what transpired in Europe over the weekend. Now let's dive into the stories. Charlie, this weekend produced absolute banker of results from the English Premier League to the La Liga to the French League. Manchester United, they are in the news, and don't forget Endrick, that is former Real Madrid player. He's still a Real Madrid player though. He was also on the score sheet scoring some hat-tricks for his side, Olympique Lyon. Now let's start off from Manchester United because they recorded a 3-2 win over Arsenal in the English Premier League over the weekend. They now goes from Patrick Dogu, Boyan Mbeumo, and Matheus Cunha, and they were the three men that scored the goals for Manchester United in the 3-2 win over Arsenal. Manchester United, they are back in the Premier League, yes, because now Michael Carrick has produced two fantastic results. Their 2-0 win against Manchester City, and now a 3-2 win over league leaders Arsenal. Charlie, this one it's just a good confidence for Manchester United. Manchester United, they are back, yes. They are back in the Premier League after their 3-2 win against Arsenal. For Arsenal, I would say they just had one goal, because if not for Lisandro Martinez on goal, that game would have ended 3-1 in favor of Manchester United. But still, it's still Manchester United that carried the day with their 3-2 win over them at the Emirates Stadium. Now, right after this win, it has changed the league standings at this moment, because Manchester City also won against Wolves by 2-0. So this means that there's a little twist in the table. When you look at Manchester City, they are second with 46 points. Arsenal, they are still top of the Premier League table with 50 points. So there are just 4 points between Arsenal and Manchester City. For Manchester United, they moved to the third place with 38 points after that win against Manchester. That's against Arsenal. So the Premier League title top 4 race is open at this moment. Chelsea, they also got a 3-1 win over Crystal Palace away from home. For Crystal Palace, I don't blame them much, because most of their players now are leaving. You saw McGay leaving to Manchester City. You saw Eberechi Eze who also left to Arsenal, with Mateta also saying that he wants to leave the club. So it was a good one for Chelsea to make that confidence. For Estevao, he also got a goal in that game against Crystal Palace, making sure that Chelsea grabbed all 3 points in that particular game. Now let me take you through the Spanish La Liga round of results that happened during the weekend, because Real Madrid were in the news after that 2-0 win against Villarreal away from home. Now it was Kylian Mbappé. He was the man who got a brace for Real Madrid in making sure that they keep their La Liga title hopes alive. For Barcelona, they were also in some kind of pressure, but they were able to manage that pressure, winning by 3-0 against relegation-threatened Real Oviedo. Dani Olmo and then Lamine Yamal, they were one of the scorers for Barcelona in that particular game, making sure that Barcelona also maintained the top of the position in the La Liga standing. So at this moment, let's look at how the La Liga standings is after that match day 21. Now Barcelona, they are top of the La Liga table with 52 points. They followed by Real Madrid with 51 points. So it's just 1 point between these two teams as the La Liga gets to heat up. For Atletico Madrid, they also lie on the third position with 44 points, and hoping that Atletico Madrid, they will be able to produce some good results. For Real Madrid, they've always had Kylian Mbappé always scoring goals left, right, center. But my big problem is, what if Kylian Mbappé gets injured today? What is going to happen to the team? You hardly see Vinicius Junior scoring goals in the La Liga. You hardly see Arda, sometimes Jude Bellingham. You hardly find them stepping up to be scoring goals for Real Madrid, because when you look at the Real Madrid's goal scorers, when you look at the margin between Vinicius Junior and then Kylian Mbappé, that margin is very, very wide. So there is a bit of doubt for Real Madrid. For me, I feel that Real Madrid should step up their games when it comes to goal scoring. Aside Kylian Mbappé, Kylian Mbappé, it's not a big issue for them. But my big problem has to do with, what if he gets injured? What happens when he gets injured. I mean, other players are finding it difficult to score. When you look at Barcelona, for example, Lamine Yamal is scoring, Dani Olmo is scoring, Rafinha. I mean, they have players, including Marcus Rashford. All of these players are all scoring whenever the need arise. But for Real Madrid, it's always Kylian Mbappé. It's always Kylian Mbappé. So if Real Madrid wants to keep their title hopes alive, they shouldn't say that because it's just 1 point apiece between them and Barcelona. So they can just leave things at this moment like this. I mean, they need to up their game. Vinicius Junior, Jude Bellingham, and the rest, they need to up their games in the Spanish La Liga if they really want to win the Spanish, that is the Spanish La Liga. For the UEFA Champions League, I mean, I fancy Madrid winning the Champions League. I have no doubt Madrid will go far in the competition. But my big problem has to do with that top scorers in the Spanish La Liga. I mean, the other players need to rise up, and then they need to rise up to the occasion. Now let's move away from the Spanish La Liga to the French League because Endrick was in the news here. Endrick, for a Real Madrid player, Endrick, he's now on loan at Olympique Lyon. He registered a hat-trick in his game against Metz in making sure that Olympique Lyon won by 5-2 away from home. Now, I mean, this guy, it's really a good one for him moving away from Real Madrid to Olympique Lyon in search of regular playing time. I mean, if you really want to go to, I mean, it's World Cup season. Don't forget we are in 2026, so definitely the World Cup will be the main focus. I mean, every player's dream is to play at the World Cup, and I think Endrick made the right decision of leaving Real Madrid to join Olympique Lyon on loan. I mean, because he's finding it difficult to get regular playing time at Real Madrid. So for him to come to Olympique Lyon to get in search of regular playing time, I mean, it's a good one for him to register a hat-trick in this particular game against Mainz, winning by 5-2. I mean, this guy is on top form for Olympique Lyon. It's a good one for him. Hopefully, let's see how he fares in the French Ligue and hopefully in the World Cup. Maybe Carlo Ancelotti may want to call him into the Brazilian national team to feature for them in the 2026 World Cup. Don't forget the 2026 World Cup is just about some few months, about 4 or 5 months away from starting. That is in Mexico, Canada, and US of A. So let's see what happens. Now let's talk about other results in the French League because PSG also recorded a 1-0 win over Auxerre in the French League. For PSG, I mean, now I'm trying to see a bit of challenge, I mean title challenge for PSG in the French League because right after their win against Auxerre, they are now like top of the French League with 45 points. They are followed by Lens, who have 43 points. That is just 2 points between them and then Paris Saint-Germain. Back then you used to see about 11 points gap between Paris Saint-Germain and other second place teams and other teams in the French League. But this time around, I like the competition in the French League, and hopefully I'll be looking at Olympique Lyon and then Endrick especially, because at this moment they lie fourth in the French League with 36 points, and that is about 9 or 11 points apiece them and then PSG. Hopefully Endrick can help Olympique Lyon maybe win the French League this season. Let's see how he fares in the French League. Now let's move away from the French League now let's talk about the Serie A, because during this weekend, I mean, Napoli were struggling in the Serie A. This was not the results everybody was expecting. I mean, when you look at the style of play for Antonio Conte and with Napoli, I mean, I wasn't expecting that 4-goal loss against Juventus. But for Juventus, I think I really like the kind of play Juventus are. I mean, the kind of style Juventus are applying in their match days, right from the Champions League midweek to the weekend, beating Napoli by 4-0. Remember, Napoli are the defending champions of the Italian Serie A. But it's a good one for them. I mean, for both sides that we head into the Champions League last round of matches. But for Napoli, I still doubt if they can win the Italian Serie A for the second time in a row, because Inter Milan, I mean, they are on cloud 9. Let me tell you why. Because Inter Milan also recorded a 6-2 win over Pisa, that is relegation threat in Pisa. They trashed them by 6-2 in the Serie A match, hoping that they can win back their Scudetto, that is a Italian Serie A. So this is how the table lies when it comes to the Italian Serie A. Inter Milan, they top their group, they top the league standings after 22 games with 52 points. They are followed by AC Milan, who have 47 points between them. That is about 5 points between Inter Milan and AC Milan, the two Milan clubs battling it in the top two of the Italian Serie A. For Napoli, they lie fourth with 43 points, just like AS Roma, who are also on the third position. So this is some of the matches that happened during the weekend, from the English Premier League to the Spanish La Liga to the Italian Serie A and the French League. And which team impressed you during the weekend? You can share your thoughts with us. I mean, definitely Manchester United will surely be the one for you, because yes, I mean, I'm really proud of Manchester United. I mean, they are doing really well. I mean, looking at the fact that Michael Carrick, he's taking charge of this Manchester United side and making sure that they grind the results week in and week out. Unfortunately, they are not in the Champions League, so this should be a big advantage for them heading into the Premier League weekend always. And so this is our Media Sports on YouTube and all our social media channels. And don't forget to share your thoughts with us and which teams made the impressions for you during the weekend. My name is Amos Mama Boy.